Hello.
Hi Bala, good evening.
Good evening,
Yeah,
everyone.
good evening, Bala.
Good evening,
Yeah,
sir.
good evening, Bala.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
We'll start the class. So,
Okay.
how many processes we have in the schedule management?
6.
6 processes. How many processes from the schedule management is supporting the planning process too? How many
So-
processes in the schedule management is supporting the planning process group from schedule management?
5 process.
5 processes. So, how many supporting the execution?
Oh, there is no one.
None, right?
Yeah.
The process from the schedule management is supporting the monitoring and controlling function. 1.
1.
Right now. So we don't have any process from schedule management to support initiation, execution, and closing, right?
Yeah.
So we have to define the schedule management. So as we define the scope management and the requirement management plan in the develop scope management process. So develop a schedule management has to give you the schedule management plan. So we have to make sure that what kind of tools and techniques we have to use for us to develop the schedule. How many processes we need to perform to develop the schedule, who will be taking the responsibility, the roles and responsibility for developing the schedule, right? And what kind of tracking tool will be used for you to track once the schedule is executed, once the project is executed. So how are you going to track the your schedule, and what will be your tracking reports, and when you need to just send the tracking reports to the stakeholders, what kind of equations will be used for you to track your schedule, right? And it's very important thing that how you're going to bring your schedule, what format you're going to bring the schedule. So you want to bring a detailed schedule, or you're going to come with a milestone schedule, or you'll be coming with a summary schedule, or you'll be coming with a bar chart, or you'll be coming with a Gantt chart, or you can bring the same schedule in the form of a table format. So the take home message for everyone is that the same schedule can be developed in a different format depending upon your audience. For management, which schedule format is very good to communicate the status of your project, especially once it is coming to the time. So which will be the format, is the best format for you to exhibit your time performance for the management? The management can be the steering committees, the management can be the sponsor, the client organization. So which will be the best format for you to exhibit your schedule performance? Anyone from the team? I'm audible with you guys, right? I'm connected with you.
Yes, Bala.
Okay.
Yeah, Bala. Bar chart.
No, I'm asking you for the management, for the upper management. Someone has punched me okay, bar chart. No, not bar chart. So which one will be the best format for you to exhibit the status? Because you as a project manager and the schedulers, the planning engineers, the planning department, they want to know the granular level of information. You can know the nitty-gritty information about your schedule, but the senior management is not interested. Your sponsor is not interested to go through the depth. He needs a summary information whether we are on schedule or behind schedule, or we are exactly ahead of schedule. How well the schedule is performing. Can you show the schedule performance index? It's above 1, below 1, or it's exactly equal to 1. So which will be the best format for you to exhibit? Guys, we have discussed in the last class, and we are in the 11th class. Almost we completed like a 60%, 50% of our syllabus. Anyone from the team can let me know what is the best format for you to use to communicate the schedule performance to the management? Anyone? Or you want me to write? What is this?
Milestone.
Yeah,
Schedule.
milestone format. And for you to develop this milestone format, you don't require to have a full-blown sophisticated software.
High level.
Like Primavera is not needed. You don't require to have your MS project, or you don't require to have a Jira application or Rally applications, or you don't require to have any kind of Basecamp like software. You need to have only the Microsoft, right? MS Office, PowerPoint presentation will do for you to just bring this milestone format. You want to know the status of the project for you to communicate with your people in the project site office. So what will be the best format? You want to just know the exact status. You want to know the progress of your project. And based on that, you need to just inquire with your people why there is the progress is not good. So what format will be helping you to raise this question?
Detailed format, right?
No,
Detailed
no, detailed thing you need to know, man.
progress.
I'm asking you the progress. For you to know the progress, you want to know the actual
Bar
progress
chart.
on the plan bar charts. And Gantt chart, bar chart are the same, but in bar chart you'll be having the full bar, you will be having the pure bars. You don't find any kind of arrows between two activities. But if you can see, any activities will be connected between any relationship will be connected between the activities, then this particular chart is called as a Gantt chart. There is a minor difference, but interchangeably the people is pronouncing bar chart and Gantt chart. Gantt chart will be showing the relationship between the tasks. In bar chart, you will be having the pure bars, which will be planned bars, and you will be having the actual bars. So based on that, you are able to know whether you are on schedule, behind schedule, or you are head of schedule, right? And for you as a project manager and the scheduler, if you want to know the nitty-gritty informations, where are you going to know, where are you going to talk? You'll be having what? You want to know the early start of a particular activity, early finish of an activity. You want to know the late start of an activity, how late you can start an activity, how late you have to finish an activity, and what is the duration for the activity, and what will be the activity ID, and you ought to know about your float, whether this activity is having a float or not. So which format will be a very best format, and you want to know the sequence, how the activity will flow from one end to the other end. So what is your what will be the format? A detailed schedule. You want to know the complete activity information. You want to know about each and every activity in a granular level of information. So which will be the best format? Hello?
Schedule network diagram.
Schedule network diagram. So schedule network diagram, if it is not giving the time units, it's not mentioning the time units or duration. So what is the name of the schedule network diagram without time units? Where you can just connect your activities. You can give the sequence to each and every activity. So
Activity unknown.
Huh?
Activity unknown.
Your logic bar chart.
Logic chart.
Don't try to forget this one. Your logic bar chart is a schedule network diagram without the time unit. If you're going to bring the time units for each and every activity connected in the network diagram, then you can call this one as a logic bar chart. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. Now, there's something that you're going to bring into the schedule management plan. You need to mention the unit of measures. How are you going to measure the time? So you need to mention the unit, like whether it's a kilogram, whether it's going to be a gram, whether it's going to be a pound, whether it's going to be a square foot or square feet, cubic yards. So you have to mention your unit to measure the schedule, right? So how are you going to measure the schedule? What unit will be used for you to measure the time? So whether you will be measuring through duration or you will be measuring through effort. So you have to mention your unit of measures. How are you going to measure the time performance? So you're going to consider duration for you to measure, or you will be considering the effort. So what is the difference between duration and effort to consider as a unit of measures? What do you mean by duration and what do you mean by effort? Hello. Everyone gone as a mute, a spectator.
Duration we can mention as how many minutes, hours, days, like that.
Effort?
And effort is 1 FTE, 2 FTE. I mean, mainly man hours, like that.
Yes,
right?
what you said is 100% correct. To put in a proper format, please note down. If you're going to bring the unit of measure, you want to measure the duration, your time through duration. Then the duration is nothing but the number of time units. The number of time units need for you to complete a WBS or any work activity, right, Mr. Vijay? The number of time.
Yes, correct.
The number of time units you need to have to complete a particular activity or complete a particular work packages. So it is going to express in what minutes. It is going to express in hours. It is going to be expressed in days. You can express through weeks, number of months, number of years. So that will be the duration. The number of time units need for you to complete a particular task or a particular work packages. Effort, the number of labor units. The number of labor units need for you to complete a work activity or your WBS, right, Mr. Vijay? So
Correct.
it will expressed in the form of what? Staffing hours, staffing days, staffing weeks, staffing months. So duration and effort, what will be your time units? What will be the unit of measure you're going to measure your schedule? Whether you use the duration for you to measure or you'll be using the effort, time units or labor units, right? Then comes the unit of accuracy. Unit of accuracy. So what basis are you going to bring the unit of accuracy? There should be an accuracy in your estimation. So unit of accuracy is based on what? Based on the estimation methods you have used. So the different method will be having a different ranges. So based on the estimation method, you need to know about your unit of accuracy. So for that, you can develop your contingencies. Unit of accuracy will be giving you to just prepare the contingency depending upon the estimation method you use to bring that numbers, right? So this is very common for the unit of measures, unit of accuracy will be very common that you need to define into the schedule management plan. And once you're going to define the cost management plan also, you need to define that also into the cost management plan. In addition to the schedule management plan, once you're defining the cost management plan, you need to mention the currency. Which currency is used for you to do the estimation, whether your estimation will be done based on the Qatari riyals, Saudi riyals, or the UAE dirhams, or you'll be measuring through US dollars or Indian rupees or euros. So you need to mention the currency once you are defining the cost management plan. So you have to mention what currency will be considered for the estimation engineers to estimate, right? Then once you are defining the cost management, in addition to this, you will be just defining something called unit of precisions. Unit of precisions. What do you mean by unit of precisions? Unit of precisions. So once you try to estimate a particular work activity and how much it is going to cost you. So if that particular amount of work needs you to spend 99.5, 99.50. 99 rupees, 50 paise or 99 riyals, 50 fils. So you need to round up to 100 riyals. Round up to 100 riyals. Or something will be 99.25, you need to round down to $99. 99 rupees. So unit of precision will be, you need to round up or you need to round down. So it is very easy for you to do the calculations. So don't try to put into the decimals, try to just come with a full number, either to round up or you need to round down. Is it clear or not, guys? In addition, what are the things you're going to bring into the cost management plan? Sorry, schedule management plan. Once you are defining the cost management plan, what are the things I'm going to write now? What are the things we are discussing right now? It's the same thing you're going to define to the cost management. But in addition to the schedule management plan, what you're going to define, what currency will be used for you to do the estimation, and what will be the unit of precisions. The unit of precision is nothing but whether you're going to round up the cost or round down the cost. Is it clear or not, guys? Am I clear?
Clear, Bala.
Okay. Okay. Then make sure that everything is considered, right? Everything is considered. Right now, your schedule management plan is set to go. So it has to provide the proper guideline to the subsequent process. So now what happened here? The subsequent process is what? We have to define the task. We have to define the task. You're saying the process, input, output tools and techniques for different activities. Hello?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
So three things will be coming as an output: activity list, activity attributes, a milestone list. Okay. And the same tool is used for you to define your activities, decompositions. So you have used the same tool and technique for you to decompose the scope of your work. And once you brought, what is the last level? What is the last level of your WBS?
Work package.
Okay, work packages. So once you brought the work packages, what you have to do? for each and every work packages, you have to define the task, right? What task the people has to perform, right?
Yes.
So whether it's a electrical task, whether it's a mechanical task or IT task, or whether it's a material submission, material delivery, or whether it's going to be like a milestone, a testing, commissioning, first fix, second fix. So you have various tasks to perform to complete each and every work packages. So you are able to define everything in the task list, activity list. So what you're going to do, you are breaking the scope of the work and you're able to define the task. Already you've broken here as a work packages. Below that, you are able to define the task. What task our people has to perform to complete each and every work packages. You are defining the task. You're not giving the duration. You are defining the task first, right? Then what you're going to do? What information you can see in the task? For example, the task will be lay 500 meter cable from one point to other point, from the North Pole to the South Pole. And you'll be giving the ID. Maybe the KLA, KLY is used for you to just mention the milestone. MAT will be for the material delivery, right? So you'll be having your own ID for each and every task. Electrical will be having its ID ELE, right? Mechanical task will be having MEC. Civil will be having CIB. So you will be having the ID and the small scope of work will be described. Lay 500 meter cable from the North Pole to the South Pole, north side to the south side, right? To know more information about each and every task, which task is a predecessor task and which task is a successor task, and what is the float for each and every task, what is the duration for each and every task, and where the task will be performed, which resource will be performing the task, what all the task is considered as a milestone task, what all the task is imposed date task. So all this information where you're going to refer, since the task list will be having ID and the small scope of the work is described. So where you can see that the complete information, what all the things I said right now. Hello? Guys?
Yes, Bala.
Okay, I'm asking, give me the answer.
Yes, yes.
Give me the answer. You're able to the work, you're able to break your complete scope of the work in what? Many WBS component, and you're able to develop that one as a planning package, and finally you are coming with a work package.
Work package.
This is the first level.
Work
Right?
breakdown.
No, this is a WBS, right? Now, this is the work package. Under this work package only, you are able to define the task, mechanical task, electrical task, engineering task, first fix, second fix, procurement, everything you're going to define for each and every work packages. So this WBS will be having ID 1, this is 1, right? 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.2.1, 1.2.2, 1.2.2.1. So you're able to give the ID, and this is going to be airport, New Doha International Airport. This is passenger terminal. This is network, the traffic signal. Okay, so food code. So again, food code is broken into number of WBS component until you are coming to the work package. So in the WBS component, you are able to see two things. One is ID given for the WBS, where we call this was a numbering system, and small scope text description will be there. Airport, passenger terminal, small texted scope description will be there. But to know about each and every WBS component in very detail, or you want to know the sufficient information about the work packages, the technical information, the technical performance, the quality information, the methods of the method statement, right? Method statement, the bill of quantities, the procurement informations. All this information I need to see about the work packages. So which will be the document will give you the idea?
Scope statement.
Not scope statement. Not scope statement.
Okay.
I'm asking you, there is a third document will be within
WBS dictionary.
WBS dictionary, right? So WBS dictionary is a technical document that will be giving the surplus information about each and every work packages, the ID, the resources, who's going to work for that work packages, how many physical resources are assigned, how many human resources are assigned, whether our people, internal people will be working for this work packages, or you're going to bring a contractor, who will be the contractor, the name of the contractor, technical performance, quality performance, risk performance. So all the information you are able to bring that one into a technical document called WBS dictionary, right? Now, you want to perform a task to complete the work packages. So in the task, you can see the task list will be having the number of tasks. Maybe this will be the mechanical task. So this mechanical task, you can see that it will be having its ID and it will be having the small scope description. You'll be having a text scope descriptions, right? Right or not? Hello? Maybe this can be a duct to work.
Yes.
This can be a duct to work. So small of scope is described here. Now to know more information about this particular activity. So which will be the document? To know more information about your work packages, you're going to refer a document called WBS dictionary. To know more about each and every task, who's going to do the task, how many resources assigned to the task, whether the task, what kind of physical resources assigned, the location where it has to be delivered, and what is the logical relationship this particular task is going to take. All this information has to go in a sufficient things you need to bring into each and every task into a document. What is the name of the document?
WBS.
No, why you are saying WBS? WBS is scope related. I'm asking you what task, what information you can know, you have to know the clear information about each and every task a person is going to do. So where are you going to define? Which document is going to define the complete information about each and every task list? Each and every task is maintained in the task list, and for each and every task, you need to define very detailed, right? When the work has to commence, when the work has to be sequenced, what is the start date of the task? What is the completion date of the task? Whether that particular task is having a float, it's having not a float. It's not having any kind of float. How many resources are assigned? Which resource is going to work? What kind of physical resources are assigned? Who will be the person who will be working for that particular task? So you need to refer a document, right? For the task. For WBS, you have a separate document. Many project managers. Work packages is different. Who said Vinod, right? Work packages is concerned with the scope, but right now we are in
Planning.
What is the second document?
WBS, activity.
And we have planning.
No. What you are able to see?
Activity list.
Activity attributes.
Activity attributes. Activity attributes is the second document that will be too much technical document. You can see the complete information about each and every activity you have defined, and you're going to use that activity, you're going to perform that activity to complete each and every work packages. To know more information about each and every activity in the activity list, there will be a second technical document will be called as the activity attributes. Is it clear or not, guys? Many people are thinking that activity list and activity attributes are two different, only one document. No. Once you're opening the activity list, you'll be finding only the activity listed. You can see the ID of each and every activity, and you can see that small textual scope description will be there. But once you're opening a technical document about each and every activity which your team is going to perform, that particular document is called as an activity attributes, where you can see the complete information, whether this activity is a predecessor activity, whether this activity is a successor activity, and what logical relationship this particular activity is having, whether it's having finish to start or finish to finish, where the location this particular activity will be performed, who's going to perform this activity, what is the resource requirements. All the information will be there in the activity attributes. Once you're opening the Primavera in the user interface, you can see there will be two different user interface. One will be for, the same user interface will be having two different columns. One column is created for activity list. The other column will be created for the activity attributes, where it will be taking the complete information about each and every activity. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yes.
Right?
Ballard,
Yes.
Ballard, is it possible to show us any sample for this?
Yeah. I'll show.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll show. Okay. Is there any schedule you're going to develop without the milestones?
No.
Okay. Is the milestone is mandatory? Milestone is a mandatory activity, mandatory you need to bring into your schedule. Once you're developing the schedule, it's mandatory for you to develop the milestone.
Yeah. Milestone should be there.
Okay. Milestone
For
is
major
mandatory,
project, yes.
Without milestone, we cannot go for payment.
Okay. Please note that milestone is not mandatory, but we can't see any schedule without the milestone. if the contract, the condition of contract says that from the client, a milestone is mandatory, then they're going to mention something within bracket M. That means you need to develop you as a contractor. If you want to get your approval, you have to develop your schedule and you have to make sure that you need to bring the milestone list. So milestone is not a mandatory. But you can't see 99.99%, you can't see the schedule without the milestone list. And the milestone in the contract condition, if the client is asking you to develop the milestone that's coming as a mandatory, they're going to mention something within bracket M. That means you have to mention for every 10 activities or every 15 activities, you need to consider one activity as a milestone activity. So once you're going to complete that, all the 10 activity, that particular milestone is achieved. Milestone or warning signal. Milestones or warning signal. You're accepting that? Milestones or
Yes.
warning signal. You're accepting that?
Yeah.
If you're not able to achieve the milestone continuously, what happens? It can
Delay will be there.
it will not change your project direction.
Yeah.
Client will ask you to stop the project, right? So take very seriously about the milestone. Milestone something if you're going to bring, you need to make sure that you and your team are achieving that. If your team is not able to achieve, they keep on not achieving the milestone. They go moving towards the they are moving towards your project. They're just going. They're working in a project. Then you can just see that your client will send you your client will be sending you a formal notice to stop the work. So milestone, make sure that it should be achieved, right? What is the duration of milestone?
0.
0.
Why it's
No
0?
delay.
Why it's 0?
It's just a completion of a particular activity or
Okay.
stage.
Okay. So how are you going to
Completion
define the
of the
milestone? How are you going to define the milestone?
Milestone is a 0 duration.
Okay.
Is
Please note that milestone is a significant event. Milestone is a very significant event. It will show the actual accomplishments. It will show the actual accomplishment dates. Training start date, training completion date, project start date, project completion date, right? Induction start date, induction completion date, right? So milestone or a significant event which will be having a 0 duration. Why it's having a 0 duration? You are assigning any resources for milestone. You are bringing only the actual accomplishments. You are just choosing the actual accomplishments. So you're assigning any resources for the milestone activities? No, right? So since you're not assigning any resources to the milestone activities, the duration should be always 0. So milestone or the warning signal, try to achieve your milestone. If you're not achieving the milestone, then it will be changing the direction of your project. It will be very serious. Then the project may be stopped in between. So don't try to take a risk. Milestone, if you're going to bring the milestone, make sure that you and your team is going to achieve the milestone. So decomposition, you're able to define the task for each and every work packages. So you'll be using your scope baseline. Can you see the scope baseline is used here for you to define your task? So which process in the scope management you're able to establish a scope baseline? Which process is supporting you to establish a scope baseline? Going back to the scope. Huh?
Initiation.
Oh, Nitin.
no.
Which
No.
process? You just
Ah,
you
so-
remember that cutting the cake for your birthday bash, Nitin. You can't take the cake completely into your mouth. What are you going to do? If you want to manage to eat your cake, what are you going to do? Can you take a
Execution.
Huh?
Execution.
No, I'm asking you. Which process is creating the scope baseline? Which process will make you to establish a scope baseline? Guys, there is a process called create WBS, right? There is a process in the scope management called create WBS. So once you're creating the WBS, you're able to establish a scope baseline. How many documents are there in the scope baseline? How many documents? Nitin? How many documents? Anyone can say, anyone can come forward, please. We are in the 11th session. How many documents is integrated in the scope baseline? Venkatesh, sir, can you come forward? How many documents are integrated in the scope baseline? Once you're establishing the scope baseline, we have to establish 3 baselines, right? What are the 3 baselines we have to establish?
Scope, schedule, cost.
Okay, scope, schedule, cost. And once you're integrating, what is the baseline you're going to get? If you're going to integrate the scope, schedule, and cost, you'll get one more baseline. Baseline of baseline. PMB. What is that?
Project management. Performance management.
Performance management baseline.
Okay,
No,
performance
management.
measurement baselines. So
Yeah.
this will be used for you to compare your actual work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what you can send into the scope baseline? We have to integrate 5 documents. So what are they? The first one should be your approved scope statement, right, guys?
Yes.
Then the second one is your graphical illustration, the use WBS, hierarchical structure, where you're going to break the entire project and you're able to show in the form of graphics. Then to support each and every WBS component or work packages, the technical information will be going into a document called WBS dictionary, right?
Yes.
One level above the
Yeah.
work package should be what? Planning.
Planning.
One level
Planning
below the
package.
planning package should be what? Work package. You have to stop your decomposition, right or not, sir? Don't try to further this. So which tool is helping you to develop the established scope baseline? The decomposition. The same tool and techniques is helping you to define your activity list to complete each and every work packages. So WBS, we're going to speak on the scope. Activities, we're going to speak on the schedule. It's clear or not, everyone, please.
Clear one.
Don't try to do any kind of task there in the task in the scope. Scope is only the deliverables. You are breaking the deliverables into more manageable deliverables. You can't execute. That is a very, very big deliverable. So that big deliverable is broken into minor pieces. So each and every minor pieces will be still deliverable. It's a minor deliverable. To deliver this minor deliverable only, you are able to define the task. What task our team has to perform to deliver each and every deliverable, right or not? To develop, to just build a room. That's a room is a deliverable. So what task you need to perform to deliver a room? You need to do the painting work. You need to do the MEP work. You need to do the electrical work. You need to do the plumbing work. You need to do the civil work. You need to do the plastering work. You need to do the final fixes. You right or not? You need to lay the tile. You need to do the ceiling work. If any false ceiling work, that will be one of the tasks. So this task will be performed for you to deliver each and every room. Room is a deliverable. So once you know very well what room you have to do, that is the deliverable, that is your scope. And what work you need to perform to deliver this room, that will be your coming under your time. Is that clear or not, guys? Task is defined in the schedule management and deliverables are defined in the scope management. Is it clear, everyone? Hello?
Yeah.
Is it
Yes,
clear,
ma'am.
everyone, guys?
Can you please repeat again?
Which one, ma'am?
Task is defined in that.
See, the colloquially,
schedule management.
the activity will be taking the other name called task. Colloquially, in the
Task,
common plan, we're going to call this one as task, right?
Yeah.
Right? So that is deliverable, right? For example, you want to deliver a food court. So food court is a deliverable, right? Ma'am,
Yeah.
come forward. This
Yes,
food
yes,
court,
yes.
this food court, you are not able to deliver in a single execution. Can you deliver the food court in the single execution?
No.
So you are breaking that one into more management level, right? So you're going to break how many restaurants is going to come? Maybe the Tandoori Express, maybe what Delhi Darbar, maybe Lahore restaurant, maybe you have KFC, maybe you have a Singapore restaurant, right? Maybe you will be having a Sarona Bhavan. So this all the restaurant, all the restaurant will be coming under food court, and each and every restaurant will be minor deliverable. Right or wrong, sir? Right or wrong, ma'am?
Yeah.
So now what you're going to do for you to just bring a Sarona Bhavan, you need to know what all the tasks you need to perform to bring the Sarona Bhavan. Sarona Bhavan is a minor deliverable. And you need to define the task under this deliverable. What task our people has to do? They have to do the civil work, they have to do the mechanical work, they have to do the electric work, plumbing work, they have to do the testing and commissioning, they have to do the civil defense work to build this Sarona Bhavan. So once they're building the Sarona Bhavan, this deliverable is ready to go to the customer, right or not? Everyone is able to understand. So this deliverable you are able to define in the scope. The task which you're going to perform to deliver the Sarona Bhavan will be defined in the schedule management. This deliverable will be defined by the technical department, and what task we need to perform to deliver this particular deliverable will be defined in the planning department. Is it clear or not, guys?
Clear, Bala.
Everyone? Oh, who's there?
Yes, clear. Bala.
I met someone is not feeling well.
Yeah, myself. Bala.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Take care, sir. Please. Take care. Listen to the video. Don't problem. Classes.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not as escapism, right?
It's correct.
No, I'm asking you. It's not escapism, right? Why this guy?
Yes, now it is not escapation.
Because
Real.
he doesn't know to answer. Always the master is pointing me and is asking question. Let me put a word to him that I'm not feeling well. So he will not ask the question. I'm taking back.
Escapism is like being silent. We don't know.
I'm taking you guys back to the school days. Okay. So what do you mean by this one rolling wave planning? Any idea about this?
Yeah.
What
So
is that?
for adding the sub activities, for example, I'm saying adding the sub activities duration and we'll get the total hours of the main activity, right? Sum up of.
Okay, now what happens if you're able to know, if you're able to perform a task and you don't have a clear-cut idea on this particular task, you're breaking that particular task into subtasks, right? Right or not, guys?
Yes.
Okay, please note down. The subtask level in the Primavera is called as a steps level, steps. If you're going to use the Primavera for you to schedule your project using as a scheduling tool, so the task, which is major task, which is broken into a subtask level, all your subtasks is called as steps, right? But rolling wave planning is having a different meaning. Now, which mechanism is going to support your project? You're able to know about your project in the day one, or you're able to know about your project after 1 month?
Day one onwards.
No, I'm asking you know the entire information about your project in the day one?
No.
No.
So when you're able
No.
to get the clear-cut information about your project?
As we progress.
Once it is going to progress from the
Progress.
planning stage to the advanced planning stage, right? Early planning stage to the late planning stage, right? So you
Yeah.
know much about your project in the detailed planning stage, not in the early stage, right? So this mechanism
Yes.
is called as a progressive elaboration. Please write this one, progressive elaboration. Progressive elaboration. Please write this information as a progressive elaboration. The progressive elaboration is that you are not able to come with a big bang approach to know the complete information about your project. It will take some time for you to understand. So you are able to develop your project in an incremental basis, like a step by step, you're able to know about your project. Step by step, you're able to add more details about your project, step by step. Is it clear, Mr. Vijay?
Yes, Bala.
So this is called as a progressive elaboration. Always, progressive elaboration will be going with a 4 side. It will be following a cycle called PDCA. So what is this PDCA?
Plan, do, and last one is act. See, I don't know.
Okay, please note down.
Check.
Plan,
Check.
do, check, act cycle. Plan, do, check, act cycle. Very important. It's not, we are speaking about the quality management, all your quality management. Why this particular 4-step approach was invented, and who has invented this one? They will be using this one as the drag and drop question. Drag and drop question, they'll be asking who has invented a concept called PDCA. PDCA is nothing but what you plan, you have to do. What you plan is not what you've done. You have to replan and you have to do, right? And you have to check what you've done. And if you're not able to give the same work which you plan, you have to react again. So what you plan, you have to do. What you never planned, you have to check and what you plan, you have to do. What you've done is not what you planned, you have to check and you have to react again. So this will be happening in the circular in nature. The circular will be having any finish point. Can you see the starting point and initial point, the final point of the
No.
circle?
No.
So you need to make sure that this particular 4-step approach is able to make you to have the continuous improvement in your process. It's a quality approach. If you're going to select your process, you know very well there are 49 processes. Whether you're going to take a tailor-made approach in omitting some process, depending upon the complexity of your project, So all the project is not demanding you to use 49. The project is so simple in nature. You have to sit with the team. What process will work out? What process will not work out? So you have to select your process. Each and every process, the project management institute is asking you to go with the PDC approach, plan, do, check, act approach. So it will be in the form of progressive elaboration. You need to just have you need to make sure that you need to bring a marginal improvements in your work, marginal improvement in your process. So once you have the marginal improvement in your process, the output will be having something called zero defects. The output should have a zero defects, right? So this particular concept PDCA as brought by a person called Walter Shewhart. Walter Shewhart. This guy is a mechanical engineer. He brought this particular concept. Walter Shewhart is a mechanical engineer in the earlier 1900 PDCA. But what is the mistake is done? He's not able to take this one into a general public. He's not able to take this 4-step approach for the continuous improvement to the general public. So the follower called Edward Deming. Edward Deming is a quality pioneer in modern quality era in Japan. This guy also a mechanical engineer in profession. After Shewhart, he used this particular concept. He has understood the valuable things they are going to get from this particular concept. So he has taken this concept to the general public and making the general public to understand what is the use of the cycle, how we are able to get the continuous improvements. So most of the industry, after the industrial revolution, we are going with this approach, PDC approach, plan, do, check, act approach. Right? Now, once he started using and he is able to get the better results, Edward Deming wants to do some changes depending upon the environment, depending upon some changes were happening at that time. So he has completely, he was doing some minor alteration. So he was doing plan, do. In spite of C, he was using something called a steady and act. So the PDCA cycle was changed into PDSA cycle. Plan, do, steady, act cycle. Plan, do, steady, act cycle. You need to study well before you act. So he has completely removed this check and he brought something called steady. So this can be called as Shewhart cycle, or we can call the PDC or PDSA cycle as a Deming wheel. Please write this one. It can be called as a Shewhart cycle. Shewhart, Michael Shewhart. Shewhart, Shewhart cycle, or we can call this one as a Deming wheel. So if you can find the Deming, Edward Deming, so he is the person to modernize the PDCA concept. He has invented, but he's not able to use properly, or he's not able to generalize this one to the general public. Many operations or many manufacturing industries selecting the manufacturing process, they went to this approach, PDCA approach. And this approach right now is overtaken by another approach called Six Sigma. So who was using Six Sigma? Anyone?
Bala, that was Shewhart cycle or Deming? What was
Deming
it?
wheel. Deming wheel.
Okay, thanks.
Deming wheel. So after in late 1980s, that PDC or PDSA cycle, which was generalized by Deming, Edward Deming, was replaced by a modern concept called Six Sigma. And this also is going to focus for the continuous improvements. It's not only for the operational process, even for the project management process, which you're going to select, it should have a continuous improvement on your process. The process should have an efficiency to give your outputs. So you have to repeat your process until you're going to get your better results. So each and every process is not going to be one-time process. All the 49 processes, except the first and the last, maybe one-time process. Remaining other 47 processes in between the first and the last process is a continuous iterated process. So each and every management plan for that particular domain area should be giving the specific periodic date that when you need to repeat the process, when you need to perform the different activity process, how many times you need to perform the different activity process. Once in 45 days, once in 50 days, once in 2 months. So this periodic timetable has to go into the skill management plan, right? So each and every process will be repeated in nature. So it's a circular nature. So it has to follow the PDCA cycle. The Six Sigma concept is going to take a 5-step approach. So this will use the 5-step approach. Instead of going with the PDCA, they will use something called a DMAIC, D-M-E-A-I-C. It's a 5-step approach. If PDCA is going to be 4-step, this will be 5-step. So D stands for define, M stands for measure, A stands for hello. Hello.
Yeah, Bala, we are with you.
Okay. A stands for accurate. Sorry, A stands for analyze.
Analyze.
D for define, M for measure, A for analyze, I for improvement, C for control. It's a 5-step approach. This particular 5-step approach brought by is coming under the Six Sigma. So this concept, Six Sigma concept, was invented by a company called Motorola. So Motorola is the founder of Six Sigma approach. So they are just away from the modern, they are away from the old format PDCA. So 1980s earlier, they brought a concept called Six Sigma concept, which will be having 5-step continuous improvement approach. You need to define your process. You have to measure always. You need to analyze. And if you're going to find anything, you have to inspect it and you have to control it. Sorry, improve it. Sorry, not inspect, it's improve. Define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Right? Now, the rolling wave planning is a form of progressive elaboration. The rolling wave planning will be called as it's a form of a progressive elaboration. It's one of the format of a progressive elaboration. So what is the rolling wave planning? You have 3 phases, phase A, phase B, phase C. So all the phases will be done in the sequence. So you need to start this, you need to finish this phase and you have to start this phase. You need to finish this phase and you have to start this phase C. Now, once you are finishing once you are in the edge of finishing phase A, which phase you have 2 more phases to complete, which phase you will be planning in detail and which phase you will be planning in a milestone format.
Be in detail.
We will be detailed.
Okay, so the work which is in the near term, you will be planning in detail. The work which will be in the far term, you will be planning in high level, right?
High level.
This will be planned in a detailed level. This will be planned in the high level. So that is nothing but that's called the rolling wave planning. So the work which your team is going to perform in the near term, that will be planned in detail. The work in far future, the team is going to perform, that will be planned in high level. So once you're going to complete the work in near future, and once you're going to complete, then you will be go to the next thing. So you'll be planning in detail. So that is nothing but the rolling wave of planning. It's nothing but it's like a sea wave which is going to come and which is going to touch your feet in the shore. Right? You're not able to know about the sea wave which is coming from the middle of the sea. So you doesn't know whether it's going to attack you or not. So once it is going to touch your feet, you need to know whether it's going to be very strong or it's going to be very light. So the rolling wave planning is nothing but the work in near term will be planned in detail. The work in far term will be planned in high level, not a detail level. So that will be called as a rolling wave planning. That will be one of the progressive elaboration approach. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so right now you are able to define the task. The other one is that you are able to you are able to give the you are sequencing your task. We're able to see a new screen in front of you guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Sequencing task, right? So now what you are able to do, you are able to put your task into logical order, right? You are able to put all your tasks into a logical order and you are able to develop a network diagram. So what kind of network diagram you're going to develop? What kind of network diagram you're going to develop? Hello? You're able to develop the network diagram, right? You are putting giving the logical order, you're bringing the, right? You're giving the sequence, you're giving the relationship. So what kind of network diagram?
With time scale or without time scale?
Without time scale, we never estimated duration. We define the task and we are placing the task in the logical order, which we have to do first, which we have to do second, which we have to do third, which we have to do fourth. We are putting in the logical order.
Yep.
So you are able to bring into a form of network diagram without time scale. So each and every task you are placed in the logical order, and each and every task is not having the duration. Time units are not given. So what is the name of this network diagram?
Pure logic net.
Bar chart.
Bar-
Chart. Pure logic bar chart. Is it clear? Okay, I'll challenge you. This is very interesting process. You can see the tools and technique. What is the nature of the tools and techniques that's used here? What is the nature of the tools and techniques which is used here? Can anyone? What is the nature of tool and techniques is used here? You have a precedence diagrammic method. You have something called dependency determination and integration. You have something called leads and lags. And you'll be having something called project management information systems.
When we saw,
Huh?
but without time scale, we saw some.
Oh, yeah, that is what kind. What is the
That is
nature of the
not-
tools? What is the nature of tool and technique you are using here? I'm asking the nature of the tool and technique here. It's very interesting tool and technique, and what is the nature of it?
Based on duration.
Yeah. No, not duration. You never went for duration. Still, we never estimated the duration. We found out our task.
Sequence, activity sequence.
No, I'm asking what kind of tool and technique is helping for you to do the sequence?
This logical relationship.
Yeah. All the tools and techniques are the same in nature.
Start to.
Please take this information. All the tools and techniques which is used here in the toolbox is graphic in nature. It's graphical in nature, right or wrong, sir? Right or wrong? Hello?
Yeah, you mean that diagram?
All the tools and
Yes,
techniques,
Diagrams.
all the tools and techniques which is kept here for you to develop the project schedule network diagram without the time scale is graphic in nature. It's a graphical tool and technique. Right? Okay. The PDM. What do you mean by PDM? What is the other name given for the PDM? The PDM is called as precedence diagrammic method. You are able to give the relationships between the activities. Now, here, dependency determination also, you are able to give the relationships, and PDM also, you are able to give the relationships. What kind of relationship it is going to support, and what kind of relationship this particular graphical tool will be supporting. This is having 4 relationship, and this also will be 4.
Early start, early finish, those
I
things.
am asking, what is that? What kind of relationships?
Logical relationship.
Yes.
Finish to start.
Yes, PDM, the precedence diagrammic method always, which is going to focus about the logical relationships. Logical relationships. I can't start my electrical work until plumbing work will be completed. Or unless you're going to complete the electrical work, we can't do the plumbing work. So you need to make sure that there should be a logical relationship given between the activities. So logical relationship between the activities will be given by the PDM method, precedence diagrammic method. Here, dependency determination, what kind of relationship it is going to give? It's going to give the general relationships. General. So examination of point of view, if they're going to ask you what is the relationship you can expect from the PDM, it is going to give the logical, and this will be given as a general relationships. So we'll see that there are 4 logical relationship in latest software. So can you name that? Can anyone name?
Finish to start.
Yes, finish to
To
start.
start. Start to finish. Start to start.
Okay, we have we have finish to start. 99.99%, you can see that many of the tasks will be having this kind of relationship, which will be a finish to start. Right? So which activity you need to complete first? Activity A, you need to complete first, and you need to go with the activity B. So what they're saying that the activity A is called as what? If you're going to start activity A as a first activity, what is the name given for this activity?
Predecessor.
Predecessor. And this is a successor, right?
Yes.
So you are not able to do the successor activity until you're going to complete with the predecessor activity, right? You're not able to start the successor activity until you are completing the predecessor activity. So A has to
Yes.
finish that first, then you have to start the B.
Correct.
So 99.99% in the any scheduling tool, you can see this relationship. So this is one of the first logical relationship used by the PDM, precedence diagrammatic method. The precedence diagrammatic method, which is PDM, can be called as AON, activity on node diagram. Is clear or not, guys? Hello? Is clear?
Yes, yes.
Activity on node diagram. So what is the activity on node diagram? The box is called as a node. And you are bringing the activity within the box is called as the activity on node. It shows the precedence, which has to start first, which has to start second, and which will be starting third. So this is called as an activity on node diagram. So the planning engineers will go with the PDM, precedence diagrammatic method, which is called as the activity on node diagram, will be used for you to do the PERT calculations. So what do you mean by PERT calculations? So which estimation method will be using the PERT calculations?
Three point.
3-point. 3-point estimation, right? If I'm asking you how long it will take to complete the activity A, I need you to come with 3 numbers. So one number can be most likely number. The other number can be a pessimistic approach. The other one can be optimistic. Best case, worst case, and most realistic case. So you're able to give me an average. So that particular average, okay, it will take 5 days. It will take 6 days using 3-point. So either you can go with a simple average. So simple average, which is a 3-point estimation method, is giving you the simple average. Triangular or beta?
Triangular.
Triangular, always triangular will be giving you
E
the
plus O
simple
plus
average, and your beta will be giving you weighted average. Guys, remember the formula: pessimistic plus most likely plus optimistic divided by 3 will be your triangular. And if you're going to bring 4, multiply most likely, and in denominator, instead of 3, you're going to bring 6, that becomes a beta. So beta will be giving you what? A weighted average. Triangular will be giving you a very simple average. So this is called as the PERT calculations. This is how the estimation is calculated for each and every activity by the planning engineers. Now it is understood. It is understood or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is called as a PDM or precedence diagrammatic method, or we call this one as a A1, activity on node diagram. So the calculation is called as a PERT calculation. What is the expansion for PERT? American has given the name called PERT because you can see that they're going to call the time as program. Always the schedule will be referred as a program. So this is called as a program evaluation review technique. Program evaluation review technique, PERT calculations. Always PERT calculation will be using 3-point estimations. Since you are not able to accept one number calculation, you are asking the people to estimate adding 2 values. So you're asking the people to come with the most likely approach, pessimistic approach, and the optimistic approach, right? Can you just give me how long it will take for you to complete the design work? how faster you can complete, how later you can complete, and what is the real time you can complete. Give me the three numbers, give me the average. Is that clear or not? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so finish to start, right? Per calculation. Why the per calculation is there? Because 20 years before, there was an outdated software. So that will be giving you only one relationship that will be finished to start. You can't see four logical relationship. You can see only one relationship finish to start. So that approach is called as activity on arrow. It's outdated. It's not used right now. But to confuse in the examination point of view, they're going to divert your attention. So they'll be giving you something called activity on node, which is not in use. It's an outdated software application. Activity on arrow is not following the per calculation. Always it is going to follow something called JERT calculation. JERT. So PDM is going to focus on PERT, and AOA, activity on arrow diagram, is going to focus on JERT. So here G stands for graphical. So it's called as a graphical evaluation review technique. Graphical evaluation review technique. This is a program evaluation review technique. So it's an outdated JERT application is outdated since it's having only one relationship. So the latest software will be having four logical relationships. So what is the activity on arrow? You can see this is your box. The boxes are considered as a dummy. You can see the activity will be sitting on the arrow. The boxes are dummy boxes, right? So boxes are dummy. You can see the activity will be sitting on the arrow. So that was an outdated software application, which will be having the JERT, which will give you the JERT calculation, and you can see only one logical relationships. Is it clear or not, everyone?
Yeah, clear.
It's clear. Okay, now what happened here? The second logical relationships. So what is the second logical relationships? The second one is start to start in sense you are doing two activities parallelly. So you're just want to get your access, but you are not able to get your access because a lot of things is not, the surface is not smooth. So you're calling your vendor to place the asphalt there. So that is the first activity. 30 minutes earlier, you can do that. 10 o'clock, you're asking the dipper to come and place the asphalts. And after 1 hour, you are calling the road roller person to roll on it to make that particular surface soft, where you can take your car inside the site access. So both the activity will be done on the same day. Maybe the second activity will be commencing after 1 hour or 30 minutes, right? That will be parallel. The third one will be finish to finish. So it will be about overlap. So you're trying to accelerate the second activity. So first activity will be done, and originally you want to start the second activity after the completion of the first activity. But right now you are giving the acceleration to the second activity. So you are making the two activity will be completing the same time. Is it clear or not, guys? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Bala.
Yeah, Bala. Yeah.
Okay, the last one will be what? A start to finish. So you can't give me any kind of examples. Start to finish, only operation. You can see as Ms. Kala has given the example in the last class that the second shift person can't complete he can't what? The second, unless the second person is going to complete the first person, the first shift person can't start his work. So make sure that the night shift person has to finish, right? Hello?
Yes, Bala.
The day shift person can't start his work until the night shift person is going to complete the work. That is the example you given, right? What is the example you given, ma'am?
Shift.
Yeah,
Shift, changing shift. Yeah.
Changing shifts, right? So the night shift person can't finish his work until the day shift person is going to start, right?
Yes.
He has to hand over some logs and some important books and all important work. So he can't start his work. So he can't finish his work until the person is going to start his work. So that is the status now. So the PDM will be giving you 4 logical relationships. It will be giving you 4 logical relationships. One will be what? Finish to start. The second one will be start to start. The third one will be finish to finish. The last one will be start to finish. Start to finish rarely will be used. Not even you're going to use that. Fast for finish to start, you'll be using 99.9%. The complete activity will be taking this kind of relationships. So PDM will be giving you logical relationship, and dependency determination will be giving you the general relationships. So we can break and we can come by 8:15.
Okay, Bharat.
Can we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the PDM will give you the 4 logical relationships. The PDM can be called as a activity on node diagram, which will be using the PERT calculation. PERT calculation will use 2 kind of estimation methods. One will be a triangular. The other one will be beta, which will be using the 3, which will be coming under the 3-point estimation methods. So beta will be giving you the weighted average. Triangular will be giving you the simple average. And we have 4 logical relationships. One is a finished star. Measure of your schedule will be taking this kind of relationships. Your task will be taking this kind of relationships. And the very least will be given by, they're going to take the logical relationship start to finish, which is very, very rare. If you want to fast track, if you want to do the crashing, you want to compress your schedule, then you go with the start to start or finish to finish. Right. The second one is dependency determination and integrations. So we have 4 dependency, which is nothing but it's not giving you the logic, but it is going to give you the general relationships. Everyone is there, right? It's going to give you the general relationships. Everyone is here. Mr. Vijay, Varun,
Yes,
Vikas,
Yes,
Rajendra sir.
Yes,
Vikas.
yes.
Okay, now the first dependency, the dependency determination, the first dependency determination will be mandatory, which can be called as hard logic. Hard logic. So this is mandatory. The contract, the condition of contract says this is a mandatory. Until we give you the complete approval, don't try to go for a building phase. We have to give the approval for the design which you submitted. Without getting the approval, don't try to start your work. So your work will be depending upon the approval of your client. Is that clear or not, guys?
yes.
Okay, hard logic. The second one is called as discretionary. Discretionary, or it can be called as preferential, or which can be called as a preferred logic. Preferred dependency, which can be called as a soft logic. So second dependency determination will be called as a discretionary, preferential, preferred, soft logic. If you have the pen, take that pen into your notepad and give a strong caption. This particular dependency is considered as a very best dependency. Discretionary, which is nothing but soft logic, is a very, very best dependency among all the dependencies, and it is considered as an industry best practice. This kind of dependency will be considered as an industry best practice dependencies. Mr. Vijay, good evening, sir.
Yes, Bola. Good evening.
You want to build a house back home in India. You came here to earn money, and once you got some money, savings, what's the next thing? We need to build a dream house, right?
Yep.
So now the dream house will come from your thought, and you're giving that kind of design to your engineer. Engineer is your friend, and you are suggesting the engineers to use tile which you want to import from Germany. It's very difficult for you to bring it through the air cargo. It's very costlier. So you want to bring through a ship cargo, and you have to wait for 60 to 90 days. So you done your order, you done your payments to the particular company, and they have delivered, and you got the delivery notice, and right to that is reached to the site. Now you are going to the vacation and you want to do a supervision, and they say that they're going to lay the tile. So you will allow your mason to work for the ceiling work and tiling work in the same time?
No,
Why?
because ceiling, if something happens, so
your tile will
I
get
will be
damaged. Your tile will get
Damaged.
damaged. So you're going to postpone your work until the ceiling work will be completed, right?
Yes.
You will not allow your mason to just place the tile unless the ceiling or false ceiling work will be completed. Your tile doesn't want to get spoiled. right?
Correct.
So that will be depending upon the completion of the sealing work. So this is called as a soft logic. The third one will be external dependency. External. Nitin, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, Bala. Thank you.
Okay, in UAE, you want to just open an, you are running an healthcare company. You are into the pharmaceuticals. You want to bring a new drug. You are so famous in the complete Middle East market and you are leading company in pharmaceuticals. You want to release a drug to the market for some headache or migraine, right? Or some symptoms.
Yeah.
Even you have a famous name in the market and reputed name in the market, brand recognition. Can you take that one to the medical store without getting the approval from FDA?
No.
So your work will be depending upon where? To get the clearance from where? From the government, right?
Government, yeah.
So
Ministry of
external
Public.
dependency, right or not? You can't take the drugstore, you can't keep in the rack until you're going to clear the things. Your decks should be properly cleared. They should accept to release that one into the market, right? Even you got a strong sponsor in Dubai, but you can limit some time. You can limit some, the time limit will be limited. Based on this influence, your work will be limited, your time will be limited, right? You can do in a short span, but still you have to depend from the government for you to get your clearance, right or wrong?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Finally, it can be internal. Always you are into the construction sector, and for last 30 years, you are doing a very, very big construction, like you are doing a high rise towers, skyscrapers, and you don't have the tower cranes. But right now, once you are doing the calculation that you need to buy the tower crane because you are into this industries. Always you are buying from the tower crane, you're taking a rent or you're taking a lease. That is so much costlier. So right now you decide to go with one tower crane. So you're going to order this tower crane somewhere in Europe market. So they're going to bring the complete tower crane as it is, or they're going to dismantle and they're going to bring the as parts. Hello?
Dismantle and bring.
They will dismantle, yeah.
Okay, so they're going to dismantle and they're going to give you, they're going to pack into a separate parts and they're going to bring to you, right? So what you have to do? You need to open the cover and you need to arrange and you have to assemble it, right?
Correct.
So that will be depending upon your internal convenient or external convenient once it reached your point. So the dependency should be always internal, right or wrong? Right or not?
Yes.
Right or not? There's internal dependency should be there when you need to just to do the assembly work. So that should come from internal. So the work, the particular tower crane, it should be assembled. That is based on the internal dependencies. So we have 4 dependency. We have mandatory. We have discretionary, which can be called as a preferential logic or preferred logic, or we can call this one as a soft logic. The dependency can be external. The dependency can be internal. So there are 4 dependencies there. So which will be giving you the general relationships. Now, what do you mean by the thing called integration? Can you see there's something called integration here? Dependency determination and integration. What is this integration? Anyone can support me, please? Hello? I'm connected with you. Last time I was disconnected. Please give me a reply.
Yes.
Okay, so this integration is nothing but you have your mandatory dependency. That mandatory dependency can be internal or it can be external. Right or wrong? It can be internal or it can be external. And your soft logic, which will be preferred logic, it will be internal or it can be external. So this is integration. The mandatory can be internal or it can be external. Your soft logic can be internal or external. So this is called as a dependency determination and integrations. So we looked on to the leads and lags. What is this? The leads and lags is nothing but your refinements. refinements, we need to apply the leads and lags for us to get what? A realistic schedule. We have to get the realistic schedule, we have to get the viable schedule, and our schedule should always have the flexibility. So we need to just refine, we need to bring this refinements leads. Lead is a positive or negative value? Lead is a positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
Negative, because you're going to subtract the downstream activity duration for you to make sure that the activity should complete on time, right? You are accelerating the second, the successor activity. You are pulling the time from the second, subtracting the time from the downstream activity, making it to complete very faster. So you're giving the lead to the successor activity. Since you are subtracting the duration, it becomes a negative, and you're going to add. Once you're done with your concrete, the concrete is getting poured. For you to continue the further work, you are just waiting for the concrete to get cured. The curing period, which will take 7 to 8 days, then you will be starting your work. So this curing period will be a lag period. Is that clear or not, guys? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir.
It's clear. So you need to affine this refinement for you to get your viable, flexible in your schedule. Always your schedule should show some flexibility, right? This schedule should have more flexibility. Then you have project management information system. It's nothing but your system, your software tool. So where you're going to bring the schedule network diagram. It can be Primavera, it can be EPPM, it can be Basecamp, it can be Jira, it can be Microsoft. So that will be used. Project management information system is a collection of various systems. Don't try to just know about only the scheduling system or scheduling tool. Even your enterprise resource planning software, which is a SAP software. So that also will be one of the project management information system that will be giving you the resource planning and resource utilizations. Even your Candy software will be also one of the project management information systems. Asana will be one of your project management information system where you are able to collect your communication and you are able to disseminate your informations. The records which you're going to collect, the correspondence which you're going to collect from the vendors, from your contractors, from the regulatory authorities, the codes, the building codes, the statutory law, statutory documents, everything you're going to take, you're keeping into a server, your MIS. So that will be one of your one of your record management systems, which is going to safeguard all your records, right? And you are able to get your salary on the month end, or you're able to get in the first week. So your accounts will follow some system called pay scale systems. And who has to do the work and what sequence they have to do the work, you will be getting the instructions. So they will be having something called WAS, work authorization systems. So all the systems are combined, and we're going to call this one as a project management information system, because the poor project manager, he has to expedite his things. So he can't do manually. So expedition should happen based on the systems. So everything should be automated. So based on this one, he is able to expedite his process. So the project management information system is nothing but collection of various kind of systems. Your payment scales, your pay scale system, your record management system, your information gathering and collection systems, your scheduling systems, your financial systems. So complete information, complete systems are called as a project management information system. You are able to get your network diagram without the time scale. That means you are able to get a pure logic bar chart. Then what is the next thing we have to do? What is the next thing we have to do? Now, can you see here? We already done this, right?
Yes, estimate
Yes.
activity.
We have to estimate the duration. Round only, we are coming to estimate. We are able to take our plan and we are able to follow the guideline. The schedule management plan was giving us a guideline. So the guideline is that how first you need to define the task. So take the scope baseline. Within the scope baseline, you can find the number of deliverables. Define your task under each and every deliverables, and try to define in detail about each and every task. Is how is the task will be performed, who will be performed, where you need to perform, whether the task is considered as a milestone task. So all this you're going to bring into activity attributes, and you are able to bring the milestone list. And the last process, you're able to give the sequence. You're placing that one in a logical order and using various kind of graphical tools, and you're able to bring the schedule network diagram, right? Before that, which estimation first you have to do? You are able to define the task. You need to estimate the duration first, or you have to estimate the resources first?
Resources.
Resources. So resource estimation will be happening in the resource department, and you need to do your duration estimation in the planning department. So what all the things we have looked already, we've seen that analogous, parametric, 3-point, bottom up, right? Right or not?
Yes.
So we are able to bring the duration estimations. And to support this one, we have a basis of estimate. And what basis you brought these numbers? On what basis you're saying that it will take like a 10 resources. So there should be a basis of estimate. So we have basis of estimate for 3 estimation, for duration, for budget, and for resources. So this all the various estimation methods will be used for you to estimate the duration estimate. The tool can be what? It can be a Primavera tool. It can be your it can be a Basecamp software, it can be MS project, or a project so simple in nature. You can have your spreadsheets. You can have your you can have a simple spreadsheet. It will do for you to do the duration estimation. The technique can be analogous estimation, parametric, 3-point, and bottom up. Bottom up will take a lot of time. Analogous will not take that much of time. It's going to give you the ballpark figures, right? And apart from this, for each and every task, we have to perform the reserve analysis. What is my reserve analysis? How many reserves we have? Guys, how many resources we have?
2.
3.
Physical as well as human.
3 reserves. Sorry, reserve, not resource, reserves. Reserve.
Reserves. Okay.
Yeah, please note down the reserve is called as a contingency.
Contingency.
The contingency, sometimes it is called as a buffers. So how many contingency we have to plan? We have to plan 3 kind of contingencies. One is for a resource, the other one is for duration, the other one is for budget.
Budget.
Right? So what is the need for you to plan your contingencies? Please note down, contingencies are your proactive plans. Contingency are your proactive plans. You know a particular risk event is going to give you a time impact. And this particular task will be impacted in 2 days. It will actual work will take a 10 working days, and this 2 days only for you to manage the time impact. This 2 days is your contingency. Is it clear or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Even your work will be delayed on the 11th day, no problem. We'll be having 1 more day extra. So you brought this contingency. Legitimately, you're bringing this contingency inside. You're getting your approval. So the contingency can be 3 contingency. You can add your resources, you can add your duration, and you can add your budget. This is only used for you to handle your risk. You are able to manage your risk based on the contingencies. You have time contingencies, you have budget contingencies, and you got your resource contingencies. So you need to know the reserve analysis. So once you are doing the reserve analysis, the contingencies, your baselines are inclusive of your contingencies. We have cost baseline and we have schedule baselines. All your baseline should be included with the contingencies. Your contingency is based on the known and unknown risk factors. Hello?
Yes.
Known and unknown in sense, you know a particular risk event is going to impact your project. You doesn't know what is the exact impact. You know the risk event, certainly it's going to impact your project objective. It will be impacting your scope. It will be impacting your communication. It will impact your resources. It will be impacting your quality. It will be impacting your cost. It will be impacting your schedule. But you doesn't know what kind of impact it will leave. How much day it is going to stay in your project. How much money you're going to spend extra. You doesn't know the exact impact. So all your contingency is based on the known and unknown risk. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Is it clear? Now, management side, especially once it is coming to the cost baseline, they will have something called a management resource. Management resource. If the project is budgeted with 1 million, the project is budgeted with 1 million, So they have a calculation like, okay, 8 to 9%. Or we have 10%. So the project, they will be having this 10% only to spend once the project is going to stop. They are planning this 10% and they will not try, they will try to keep themselves. They doesn't want to expose to the project managers, but for overall project, they'll be keeping these funds. They'll be keeping 9% to 8% total from the total project value. They'll be keeping these funds and they will not expose how much funds they are having as a management resource. So this is planned for the business continuity. So all the management resource by the management, they're going to bring that 7%, 8% overall from the budget is based on the unknown. So they doesn't know what kind of risk will be impacting your business in between. And they doesn't know what is the exact impact that particular risk even is going to lead to your objectives. So to move forward, to have a business continuity, the management will be having their own reserves. This is their prerogative to give the funds for the, if the project manager is going to exhausting the funds, project manager has to give the substantial reason why they have spent extra than the plan. So the management, if they have the prerogative, they can give the extra funds to the project manager to continue the project. So this funds will be used, the management resource will be used for act of God. Or they'll be using for force measure. What is a force measure? Can I call volcanic eruption as a force measure?
Yeah.
Can I call the theft which is happening in your project site office? Theft. You are working in an electricity company and you keep the complete electrical cable drum. 3-4 drums was completely, because you know very well in an electricity company, if you want to just give the supply using this particular cable, the project, the nearly 70 to 75% the project cost will be coming in buying the cables. That too, if you want to supply 440 watts, you will have to carry an aluminum or copper wire. So that particular wire will be coming through drums. There was several incidents was happened in the Dukan fields. One of my friend was working as a PM there, and they don't have the fence. They kept the complete drums. Sunday morning they are coming. They are not able to see 3 or 4 drums there. So costlier, and it will take a lot of lead time also for them to manufacture, because if you got your order, you need to place the order. If you got your if the contract is awarded, you can't just give the order. Once you are participating in the proposal, make sure that you need to give the order, because it will take like 6 or 8 months for them to manufacture and to deliver. It's not available in the local market. Even the Doga cables is not having that. You need to go to Turkey or you need to go to other European market to bring that cable. And that particular cable will change its price. There is no price stability. So according to the London Stock Exchange, LSE, you need to make the order in prior. Is it clear or not, guys? Hello?
Yes.
So the theft, the fire, the tsunamis, the volcanic eruptions, or how we are able to get the salary during COVID-19 pandemic. We have the cash flow. There was business going on.
No.
You can see the business was fully fledged only on healthcare industry and IT market. Most of the business was closed and most of the people were working in the house, remote at home, sorry, work at home. They're working remotely. But we need to just need the money for us to do the surveyor. So how the company is able to give the salary? Where they are able to give the salary from you guys? How there is a business continuity? On what basis they are running the business? They don't have the cash flow for 6 months, 8 months. The company was closed. We are in the lockade. But we are able to get at least a 60 to 70% salary. How the company is able to pay us? They will be able to take the money from the management resource. So how many business they are doing, how many projects they are going to come, depending upon the complex nature of the project, depending upon the risk factors and other factors, the financial people will be working very close to the steering committee and the sponsor. They'll be having their own funds, like 8 to 9%. If the project is so complex in nature, what is the total project budget? From there, they're going to plan 11 to 12%. So 8 to 9 will be the minimum management resource the management will be having. So management resource is based on the unknown and unknown risk factors. But known and unknown risk factor will make you to plan your contingencies. So that's what you're going to do in the reserve analysis. Is it clear or not, guys? Hello?
Yes, clear, Bala.
Okay. Everyone is ready? Now we have to develop our schedule. We have to develop our schedule. What screen you can see in front of you guys? Today, no questions.
Develop schedule.
Develop schedule.
No? No?
Same one.
Develop schedule.
Tools and techniques. Critical path method.
Okay. So are you ready? It will take like a 10 to 15 minutes. It may exceed of about 9. So this is very important. How to draw the network diagram, how to develop a schedule network diagram. You are a project manager, you will not do, but you will be taking help from the planning engineers, but you need to know what is the basic and fundamental procedure for you to develop the network diagram and what are the things you need for you to develop. We've collected the output from other process. We are not coming here directly and developing our schedule. We are going step-by-step process. We are able to get our schedule management plan that is giving the guidelines, that's a roadmap. So that roadmap is asking us to define the task first, taking the WBS and taking the work packages from the scope and area, define your task. And able to, then it's asking you to put your task in the logical order, sequence it. Take the network diagram without time units. Try to call the resource department to estimate the resources, assign the resources, know their productivity. Right? And apart from this, you ask your planners to know about what will be the time need for them to complete each and every task by assigned resources. Right now, you got your time units. So right now, you're able to accumulate all your time units for you to give the time scale for the entire project, when we need to start the work and when the project should be handed over. Is it clear, guys? So one of the important technique will be used by all the planning engineers will be critical path method. So what do you mean by critical path method? What do you mean by critical path? And before taking into the consideration, I like to say something. If you want to develop your schedule, there are 3 kinds of calendars you have to use. You need to use 3 kinds of calendars. You can't survey with one calendar, or you are not able to bring the flexibility into the schedule using one calendar. You need to use multiple calendars. So there are 3 categories of calendars available. So the planning engineers will consider this calendar. The first one is resource calendars. The second one is project calendars. The third one is local calendars. So what do you mean by resource calendars?
Resource availability.
Availability of the resources. I can't
Yeah.
schedule the task to Miss Kala if she is not available in Doha. She went for vacation. I need to know whether the Miss Kala is available or not. Only she is the subject matter expert and can do this task. Can I assign her without her availability? Can I know that whether I can use this tower crane which is not available, which is used by the other project? So I need to wait for that particular tower crane to be free. Then I can assign the work for that particular tower crane. So to know the availability of the resources before I'm going to schedule the task to them, I need to have the up-to-date resource calendars. Right? The project calendars is nothing but, for example, you are able to get your project from the client is from Europe. So what kind of calendars they will give you? What kind of calendars they're going to give you? They will be giving the calendars. So that calendars will say that you need to work on Ramadan.
Yeah.
You need to work on Ramadan holidays. And your work should start from Sunday. Sorry, your work should start on Monday and it has to be completed on Friday. So can you go with that calendar? You need to
Yes.
modify the calendar, right? So you are doing the work in Qatar, but your client is sitting in Europe. So make sure that the project calendar, you need to modify these calendars. The local calendars will give you the information when you need to work and when you have to stop your work. Even though I got an order to work inside the mosque to refurbish the mosque, during Friday at 11 o'clock, I can't enter the mosque. I need to stop my work. Why?
Yeah, it's a prayer time for
It's a prayer
local.
time. So I can't make my work for people to go inside to do the work. So local calendars, we have to know the local customs. So when the people has to work, what is your work time? Whether they have to work 8 hours, that inclusive of breaks, or they need to work for 9 hours. So I need to make sure that I need to have the local calendar. So once you develop the schedule, these 3 calendars is very important: resource calendars, project calendars, and local calendars. Right? So now we going for critical path method. So the critical path is nothing but it's one of the important technique for many planning engineers. They will be using to develop the schedule. And that's not only one technique. There are many techniques used for you to bring the flexibility into the schedule. Right now, we will be developing the schedule using the critical path method. It's a longest path. It's a longest duration, right? It's a longest path and the shortest possible duration. Why it is called as the longest path and shortest possible duration? Why the critical path is taking this definition? Anyone? Why the critical path is taking the definition is the longest path and shortest possible duration? Why it has to take the definition like this? Hello?
Duration to take,
Oh.
duration to
Understand the definition, Ms. Kala. It's a longest path,
yeah,
shortest path, and the shortest possible duration. If your manager is coming and asking you, Kala, how quicker you can complete your work, that means it's not pointing the non-critical path. He knows non-critical path will come along with the critical path. So where he is pointing?
critical path,
right?
Critical path only.
Okay, if you are completing the activities in the critical path, what happens to your project?
It will take.
No, if you're going to complete your activities in the critical path, if you are completing your activities in the critical path,
Project will complete.
It will take time to
Project will
complete.
complete.
Project will complete, right?
Yes.
Project will complete. If you're going to complete all your activities in the critical path, the project will be completed. So simple, right? And being a project manager is your responsibility. You make sure that your planner is going to develop the schedule network diagram. It should have only one critical path. There should not be multiple critical paths. Then it will be, that particular thing will be very riskier. So if the network diagram shows more than one critical path, you need to adapt some technique for you to just add the resources. You can crash it. You can just do the fast track change, logical relationships, dependencies. So you have to sit and you have to make sure that schedule network diagram should have only one critical path. Is it clear, guys? Are you ready to just draw the network diagram? Can I move forward?
Yes, Bala.
Okay. So what is this? Anyone can say?
List of activities and duration.
Okay, what is this? What is this document called? Someone was asking me the question, can you show me something?
Activity list.
Activity list is here, right?
Activity attributes.
Attributes. You can see this one. Again, you can create a column, right? You can know about the logical relationship, whether this particular activity is finished to start activity, whether this activity is start to start activity. And you can create one more column and you can know about the dependency, whether it's external dependency or internal dependency. You can create one more column and you can see the integration, whether it's a mandatory internal, mandatory external. This is called as what? Activity attributes.
Attributes.
Is it now you are able to understand? So this is activity list. And once you are coming, bringing the complete information about your activities, the location, the resources, whether it's a milestone activity, creating more column and column. So you're going to bring something called activity attributes. It's two different documents. Right? Okay. Now, how are you going to draw the network diagram? You want to go with left to right, or you want to go with the top-down approach, which is very easy for you to calculate. Left to right approach is correct, or you need to go with the top to down.
Left to right.
Left to right. So you can go top to down also, but it's very difficult for you to calculate the duration. It's feasible for you to go with the left to right, right? So left to right. Now we have how many activities here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 activities, and it will be having the duration. How you are able to bring this duration? Activity A, it will take 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 months. Activity B will be taking 11 days, 11 weeks or 11 months. How we are able to bring this duration? Think logic and give me the answer. Pace, we have discussed just now. Before the break, we are discussing this one. How we are able to bring the duration? Guys, you're there?
A need 3 days, right?
How you brought this one?
3-point estimation.
2 points.
Yeah, that was I'm asking you. So you use 3 numbers to bring this weighted average, right? Pessimistic plus most likely plus optimistic divided by 3 or divided by 6. 4 multiplied by most likely. So you brought this number based on the PERT calculation, right or wrong? Right? Guys, give me the answer.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So you got 11 activities, you got the duration, and you know the relationship, which is the predecessor, which will be successor, with what logical relationship you're going to give, and what is the dependency you're going to give, where all the areas you're going to apply lead, where all the areas you're going to apply lag, and what resources are assigned, and we're going to do the duration calculation. We are going to do the duration calculations. Okay. Now, there is a 2 school of thoughts. One school is asking you to start with the day 0. The other school is asking to start in day 1. Which one we have to take? We can go with the day 0 or day 1. Today it will take
say
some.
0.
0.
0.
Okay, one school is asking you to go with 0. The other school is asking you to start your day with 1, right? Both are good, but what happened here, once you select 0, in your calculation, you don't require to calculate with +1, -1 and all. We take this one very valuable information. If you start with the day 1 in your calendar, if you're going to bring 1, not 0, you're going to start with the 1. You need to make sure that your calculation should include +1 and -1. I'll just show that how you're going to include that +1 and -1. If you're going to start with 0, you don't try to include +1 and -1 in your calculation. If you want to start with the day 1, you need to include +1 and -1 in your calculation. Right? Now, we'll go with the day 1, because what happened here, you are joining in a new company. Can you say to your friends that this is my 0th day?
No.
No.
What are you going to do? This is my first day. And you're going to use your calendars to know about how long it will take for you to complete your work. So the calendar will start with 0. Your daily calendars, monthly calendars will start with 0. Hello? No, right?
No.
It will start. So we'll go with 1. We'll go with our calculation should calculate, should add 1 and subtract 1. So why I should add 1 and subtract 1? I will say that it's for mathematical convenience. It's for mathematical convenience. Okay. What is this called? What is this called?
Node.
What node? Activity on
Activity node.
node.
Activity on
So
node.
this box is called as what? Activity. Right? So what we are doing, we are using the activity, we are using the node diagram. So this is called as a PDM, right? PDM, precedence diagrammic method, right? We are able to connect our activities. Now what we have to do, we have to find out the early start for each and every activity, how earlier we can start, how earlier we can finish, how late we can start, and how late we can finish. Right? So we are able to create a detailed schedule network diagram using the critical path method. Right? So we are going from the left to right. So what happened here, once we try to go from the left to right, we are going from left to right. So this calculation is called as forward pass calculation. Forward pass calculation. Forward pass calculation. And once we finish the complete activities in our list and we are done with the forward pass calculation, all the activity will be taking earlier start and earlier finish. We need to do the reverse calculation. And once we are doing the reverse calculation, we are able to find out the late finish and late start for each and every activity. How late we can start and how late we can finish. This is not going to be a duration. You will calculate your duration based on the 3-point estimation. You are using the PERT calculation for you to bring the duration, right? Now, if you're going to do the calculation at backside, once you're reversing your calculation, this is called as a backward pass calculations. Backward pass. So once you are able to do the forward pass calculation, you can know the end date of your project, end date. Once you are doing the backward pass calculation, you are able to find out the float. Everyone is with me, right? Everyone is with me,
Yes.
right? So this particular box, rectangle box, is called as a node, and you're trying to place your activity on that node. So we're going to call this one as an activity on node. And once we are connecting each and every node, this particular diagram is called as a PDM, precedence diagrammic method. The duration for this diagrammic method is you are able to find out based on the PERT calculation program, evaluation, review technique. Right now, we are creating a detailed schedule network diagram. So we are able to find out the early start and early finish for our activity. So we are doing the forward pass calculation. It's going to help us to find out the end date of a project. And once you are finished with the early start and early finish for each and every activity, we have to reverse our calculation. We will be doing the backward pass calculation. So backward pass calculation will make you to know about the float for the activity. So what do you mean by float? We'll be discussing in upcoming slides. The float is called as slack. If you're going to work in the adaptive environment, especially once you're working for IT, or you're going to develop any product development with your adaptive methodology, they're going to call this one as a slack. Float and slack will be interchangeably you can use depending upon the industry where you work. Believe me, float is your assets. Float is your asset. Don't try to misuse your floats. If you're entering into a fixed price contract, the client will give you the design. The client will give you the network diagram. So the client is going to find out the float. So client is giving you the network diagram. Since it's a fixed price contract, can the client will take the complete float to them? Can the client that I've given you the network diagram, so I'm going to take the complete float. Can you say? Can the client say to the contractors? Hello?
No, right?
No.
No, right?
Okay. You are coming and signing a cost reimbursable contract. So that will be favoring the contractor since the client doesn't know anything because the scope is keep on evolving. So the complete task is given to the contractor. So the contractor is going to develop the design and is going to take his approval. Based on the design, he's going to work out the network diagram, how many work you have to do. So you're going to place his work in the network diagram and he's going to assign the resources and he's going to calculate how much it will take for them to complete, how much time it is going to take for them to complete each and every task. So they are bringing the network diagram. The contractor is going to develop the network diagram and they are showing to the client. So since the contractor was developing the network diagram, so the contractor can't claim that the float will be, they're going to take the complete ownership for the float which they brought into the network diagram. So no one should misuse the float. The float should be equally given to each and every contractors. So float will be asset. Don't try to misuse your assets. So you can develop the float. You can bring the slack only using the critical path methods. There's many more methods for you to develop your schedule. In Europe market, they are using a different kind of methods, techniques. So that we'll be seeing in the next class. Right now, we can go with the network diagram. Okay. Can you see this one?
Yes.
Okay. So we know very well that we have 11 activities are there, right?
Yes.
So how many predecessor activity are here? How many predecessor activities are here?
10.
No. How many predecessor starting activity? 3, right?
3.
Three.
So overtime
Activity
given.
activity A, B, and C, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. What is the last activity? K.
K.
Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to find out the early start and early finish. We have to find out the early start and early finish, right? So what is the first day we have taken 0 or 1?
1.
1.
1.
So 1, right? 1. So 1 we are sitting in. What is the start date of B? Which day we have to start? Day 1, right?
Day 1.
Correct.
And C also should be started in the day 1. So what we found out? We found out the early start for 3 activities, which is a predecessor activity, right?
Yes.
Okay, please take the formula which is written at bottom. We have to find out the early finish for activity A, activity B, and activity C. If you are having any doubts, stop me, please. So what is the formula given? Early start plus duration minus 1. Please take that one. The formula for early finish, early start plus duration minus 1. Why the plus 1 minus 1? Because we have taken the starting day as day 1, not 0. If you're going to start with 0, you don't require to have plus 1 and minus 1. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So why the plus 1 and minus 1? For the mathematical convenience. For us to get the proper calculation for the mathematical convenience, since we taken the day as 1, so we need to use plus 1 and minus 1. For example, you start the activity, the first activity at day 1, and the activity will be taking 2 days. So you're going to start the work on Sunday morning, and it will take 2 days, the first activity. So what is the total you're going to get? 3, right? Logically, it is correct. So you start your work on Sunday, you need to complete the work on Monday evening, right? Right or not? It has to take 2 days, right?
Yes.
Say yes or no, guys.
Yes, 2 days.
So the first activity, you're going to start in the day 1, and it will take 2 days for you to complete. So you're getting 3. So you need to do what? Minus 1 for you to get 2. So you're going to start the second activity, right? On the third, you are going to start the second activity on the third day. And it will take 3 days. So what is the answer you're going to get? 6. So you'll be completing this one on the 6th day or 5th day?
5th day. Minus 1.
Minus 1. So you'll be getting 5, right? So you start this one, the day 3. The day 3 will be in the calendars will be Tuesday, right? And it will take 3 days. So Tuesday you have to work, Wednesday you have to work, Thursday you have to work, and you can go freely on Friday. You can take a holiday on Friday, right? So it is coming 6 minus 1. So you'll be completing this one on the 5th day, this one on the 2nd day. So for the mathematical convenience, is clear or not, everyone?
Clear, Bala.
Okay. So that's the reason we are using plus 1 and minus 1. So we are doing the forward pass calculation. So we can go with our calculation. So what is that? Early finish of activity A? 3 plus 1. 3. 3 plus 1, 3, right?
3. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 minus 1, 3.
Okay. What is the one? This one? B?
11.
What is this one? Early finish for C?
9.
9.
Okay. If activity A is going to complete the early finish at the 3rd day, so when we need to start the activity D? 4th day morning, right? 4th day morning, right or
Yes.
not?
Yes.
4th. See what we have? Activity B is diverged itself and it's going to meet two activity. E and F is connecting two activity. So it's point of divergence or point of convergence? It's diverting itself, right?
Divergence. Yeah.
Divergence. So what is the point of divergence? What is the outcome? If you are careless, bottleneck, right? It will give you the time impact. If activity B is not able to start in the correct time, can you able to start the C, E, and F, which is depending upon the completion of B? E and F is depending upon B completion, right? If B
Yes.
is going to delay its completion, so that will disturb E and F, right or not, sir?
Correct.
Okay, so what should be the start date of E and F? Since B is connected with two
10.
activities. 12, right? 12.
And 12th, E for 12 and F also 12.
Okay, what will be the early start for G and H? It also will be taking what?
10.
C is
10.
diverting itself and it's just merging into two activities, G and H. So what should be the early start for G?
10.
What is the start date for early start for H?
H also 10.
So now we need to find out the what? Early finish for D, E, F, G, and H, right? So what should be the early finish for D?
10.
What is the early finish for E?
20.
F,
16.
G,
14.
H?
28.
See, now D and E is getting merged into I, one activity. Two activities are merged into one activity. Point of convergence is happening. Before that, point of divergence, here is a point of convergence. Again, it's a bottleneck. If we are not taking this one seriously, it will impact our duration. If D and E is getting delayed, I will be impacted. Now, we are doing the forward pass calculation. So, you see that two activities are merging it into a single activity. So now which activity early finish has to be considered? Highest or lowest?
Highest.
So what is the highest? E, right?
20.
20. So if E is going to complete on early finish on 20, when the I has to start? 11th day or 21st day?
21.
21. Similarly, the same logic is applicable for J. So F is having 16 as an early finish and G is having 14 as an early finish. So what should we start for J?
70.
17.
70. Now we need to find out the early finish. How early we can finish that activity I. So the duration is given 17 and the early start is given 21. So what should be the early finish for I?
37.
And what is the early finish for J?
21.
So now you can see three activities are merged through the last activity. We are coming to the end terminator. K is the last activity. Beyond that, you can't go it. So if early, you can see that early finish of H is 28, early finish of J is 21, and early finish of I is 37. So we are doing the forward pass calculation. Always we have to take the highest number. So we need to consider the activity which is having early finish highest number. So if I can complete I on the 37th day, I need to start K at which day?
38.
38.
And what should be my early finish for K?
40.
40.
So the project will take 40 days to complete. What we done, we are able to do the forward pass calculation. We are able to give the early start and early finish for each and every activity. And we are using the precedence diagrammic method. We are doing the PERT calculation to give the duration. Our activity attributes is giving us a lot of help for us to do these things. So we are referring the activity attributes. Only with activities, we are not able to develop the schedule network diagram. We need to know the surplus information about each and every task we're going to perform. So we are using the activity attributes and we are able to develop a schedule network diagram through the critical path methods. Is that clear now, guys? So we are done with our forward pass calculation. Right now, we need to do the backward pass calculation to find out the late start and late finish for each and every activity. So you're ready, right? So take the formula for the late start, late finish minus duration plus 1. Plus 1 and minus 1 is for our mathematical convenience since we have taken the day 1. So this is my first day in this company and we have to start the activity in the day 1. So we are taking 1 as a number. So we need to use minus 1 and plus 1. If you're going to start activity A at 0 the day, there's no need for you to plus 1, minus 1. You can just have this video and you can just start doing with you can use 0 and check yourself whether you're able to get the same 40 days. Right? So in your leisure hours, you can do that. So since you are not able to move further, so what is your early finish for K? The same as to brought down. So what should be the late finish for K? We are completing K on 40th day. So late
40.
finish also should be 40, right?
Yes.
So now what
Yes.
is the late start for K? The formula for late start is what? Late finish minus duration plus 1. So 40 minus 3 plus 1. 40 minus 3 is 37. 37 plus 1 is 38.
38.
Okay. Now 3 activities are connected with K, like I, J, and H. So what should be the late finish of I, J, and H? 37, right?
37. Yeah.
J also 37, right?
Yeah.
H also
H
37.
37.
Okay. So now don't care about H. So once we are coming back, we need to consider H. We found out the H late start, late finish. Right now, we need to worry about the late start of I and J. No need to go with for H because you can see H is happening parallelly with G, D, E, F, G, H. So we need to consider right now for I and J. So we need to find out the late start for I and late start for J. So what is the late start for I?
21.
J?
33.
So now what we have to find out? We need to find out the late finish for D, E, F, G. Already we found out the late finish for H. So what is the late finish for D? If at 20. For 20.
E also. 32.
32, 32.
We found out, right? So what is the late start for D, E, F, G, and H?
13. 14 for D.
Okay. E?
12.
F?
28. 28.
This is very
12.
big.
13.
19.
90.
37 months. Yeah, sorry. 19.
Okay. So you found out the late start, late finish for activity, but 3 activities are spared, A, B, and C, which is a predecessor activity. We need to find out the late start, late finish for this 3 activities to fulfill our network diagram. So this is a detailed HTML network diagram. It will be giving you the granular level of information. Okay. So what should be the late finish for A?
13.
13.
See, now there is a problem. Once we are doing the forward pass calculation, we are taking the highest number. Now we are reversing our calculation, we are doing the backward. So we have to take the lowest number.
Best. Yeah, B
So-
also 13.
So late start for E is very low. So what should be the late finish for B?
13.
Wow, 11.
11. 11. 11.
This one.
18.
18.
18.
What is the thing? What is the late start for A?
11.
11.
This one?
1.
A.
0. 1.
1, right? 1.
1. 1. B.
Because
1.
we never taken 0. We taken 1. So it should be 1. This one?
This one 10.
10.
So we found out the late start and late finish for all the activity which is connected in the network. So this is the detailed schedule network diagram. We got the logic bar chart. So right now we need to calculate the float. Okay. So please take the formula for float. The formula for float is total float is late start minus early start or late finish minus early finish. So what is the float, total float for A? 13 minus 3 or 11 minus 1 is how much? 10, right? Hello? 10, right?
Good.
Can you see the screen, right?
Let's start minus early start. Yes.
Okay, what is the float for A? Activity A?
10.
10, right?
10, 11 minus 1. 10. Yeah.
What is B? So that means what? With this
0.
40 days, you can delay activity A for 10 days. It's in the non-critical path. So what you can do, if you're going to delay 10 days, what resource you brought for that 10 days, you can redeploy back to the critical path. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yeah.
Is it clear? Float is an assert. Always the activities which is in the when the critical path will have the 0 float. So what is the float for activity B?
0.
0.
So it's in the critical path, right? So we can't delay the activity B, right? So you don't have a float here. What is the float for activity C? Total float.
9.
What is the total float for activity D?
Activity D. 10.
For E,
0.
0.
0.
So it's in the critical path. So what is the float for activity F?
16.
What is the float for activity H?
18.
9, right? Sorry, G.
15.
9.
This is 9.
For
0.
16, right?
16. 0.
So which is your critical path? How many paths do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paths are there, right? You got 5 paths, right? You're able to see the 5 paths.
Yes. Yes, 5 paths.
You can see the path A, D, and I, one path. B, E, I, and K, one path. B, F, J, and K, one path. C, G, J, and K, one path. And we have C, H, J, and I. So we have almost total 5 paths. Out of 5 paths, we have one path is critical. So what is the path which is critical? What are the activities?
A-Y-U-K.
K. 0.
So this path is critical, right? So what happened? So A is having 10 days. So out of 40 days, you can delay A. Out of 40 days, you can delay any 10 days, you can delay for D. Any 10 days, you can delay for F. So what a resource which you assign for that particular task, you can redeploy back to any activities, which is so critical. So don't try to delay the critical activities. So non-critical activity will do parallel with the critical activities. And always many people will be using the novice or the budding juniors or newcomers in the non-critical path. And only the experienced hands will be working in the critical path activities. So now you are able to understand how the people is able to develop the critical path using the critical path method, CPM. How the people is able to develop the detailed schedule network diagram.
Yes.
Right? So you are not able to do the development immediately after you're done with your schedule management plan. So that will be giving you the step-by-step approach. And that should be a progressive elaboration. Try to define your task first. Try to add the attributes for each and every task we collected and try to know what are the areas where you can plant your milestones. Then try to put your task in logical order. Take your graphical tool for you to just place that one in the logical order. Take the network diagram without the time scale in it. Ask the resource managers to just assign the resources, estimate the resources. Try to assign the resources. Take all your calendars. Try to do the estimation. How long it will take for you to complete each and every task. So you have the complete, you've given the complete estimation for all the tasks which you brought. Right now, once you're developing the schedule, bring all the tasks, try to just accumulate all the tasks, aggregate all the tasks, sum up all the tasks. You know very well when you have to start your work and when you have to complete your work. Right? So using the CPM method. Any doubts?
No doubts.
Okay, so already it's 9:21, sorry. So we'll see you on Wednesday, right? Hello? Guys, you are there or slept everyone? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Bala.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
Bala.
Okay. I'm not able to get because my internet is having issues. Okay, see you guys. Tomorrow is our very precious day for all our people. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you. Wish you the same.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Bala.
Take care.
Thank you all.
Night.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.